Hey everybody, it's me, Shonda, coming to you today with episode 9. Episode 9 or 10? I don't know. I'm not good with that. But anyway, prime time is what it's called. And we start off the episode by what's happening? Mary Jane is lighting up the candles. She's setting the ambiance, getting the juices flowing, getting the pheromones up and through in the air. Then her boy, Cuddy Buddy, rings the bell. Ding dong, ring ding dong, ring a ding dong. And I'm not mad at Cuddy Buddy, and I'm not mad at her situation with Cuddy Buddy because I mean it's just a natural thing that happens. You have your little boy that you call, you be like, what's up? You coming through? You be like, yeah, whatever, whatever. And I mean, I'm not mad at that or whatever. At first, last week I was like, yeah, a little silly, he ain't got all his marbles or whatever. But he seems to be kind of catching feelings for Mary Jane. And I'm pretty sure she gonna let him down easy. But anyway, we'll get into that a little later on or whatever. So they just sitting around, they talking. He said, I bought the whatever you like or whatever, had the little bag. So they sitting there in front of the bed watching TV, whatever. One thing leads to another. He side eyeing her, she side eyeing him. Then it goes down. So then after that, they're talking. She's like, oh, you really relaxed me, whatever. I'm Lucy, Goosey, Lucy. And they get to ask, and she gets to asking him a couple of questions just about like where he's been, what he's been doing or whatever. And they come to find out the football team that he was on, they cut him. So he's kind of thinking about that. And she was like, well, why don't you play in Canada? He's like, no, I don't trust no I don't go nowhere where they don't lock their doors at night. He's funny. But he said, oh, since we playing 20 questions, girl, you seem to love me now. When you love me, I was down and out. Would you still have love for me? That's my song by 50. I ain't really into 50 like that because he do be doing some assholey type things. But I like some of his music, especially how I start off. Oh, sorry. Anyway, so um he said, what's up with you? You want to tell me who you been sleeping with? I saw you with old boy up in the restaurant or whatever. She was like, "Why? Well, you ain't see me with nobody. What you talking about, boy?" He said, "I seen boy. I know he old too. He looked like he had on a Kango." She said, "Don't play. He ain't have on no Kango." He said, "Yeah, I know, cause his hair too high for a Kango." Score one for football, Cuddy Buddy. You better get a Cuddy Buddy, cause she think you stupid. Anyway, so next scene is Mary Jane goes to the boutique and she, hooks back up with her little sales girl that she ain't seen in a while because she ain't been in there. And she said, oh, hey, girl, I knew you was going to be in here soon. She was like, oh, why you say that? She said, because Lisa was in here buying up everything and that girl is cut, or she said her physique, she's fit or whatever. Y'all going to Cancun again or wherever she said. And she was like, oh, no, she played that off or whatever. And she was just looking at stuff and she was like, oh, yeah, well, we got some things in here I know you would like. This little dress will fit you, your small frame. This would look good on the tizoo, like Martin. His face should be on the tizoo. But anyway, um, so they get to talking or whatever, and the girl happens to mention that she's still on her grind going to law school. She had an opportunity to work at this law firm, but it fell through. And Mary Jane, she in there thinking that she's throwing out names that don't nobody know about because one of these kids is doing their own thing. But she got gagged because when she threw Sheldon's name out there, the girl was like, oh, Sheldon Watkins, whatever his last name, and I can't remember. She said, yeah. She said, oh, I know him. And she gave it that, oh, I know him. You know that. Like, if you know him, you be like, oh, I know him. With that hook in your neck, like, mm-hmm. She ain't so shade, but it was like it was a different type of her stance wasn't the same no more. It was like before it was, oh hey girlfriend, what you doing? What you want to wear? What? Then it was like, oh I know him. Yeah. So anyway, Mary Jane's face was cracked and on the ground. So once she found out that she, like, they asked questions back and forth, and then they just went for it, like, oh yeah, let's get the champagne and let's talk about bull. So they talked about it. They found out that Mary Jane found out from her when she was dating him that he never let her spend the night. That's why they didn't make it, and he was kind of weird. And she said, "Weird in what way?" Like, she said, "Oh, he never orgasmed or whatever." And she was like, "Oh, what, he couldn't?" She said, "No, he wouldn't." He said, "He a freaky dude for his age or whatever. I mean, he in shape. He was working out more than me." Then Mary Jane was like, all right, then. You know how the mom was on Friday when Miss Parker told her, call me when you get off. She was like, okay. You know me and you don't call, we don't call each other. You know I don't mess with you like that, Miss Parker. We know you the skank of the block. You just be doing that nice little put on when you see your neighbors. Hey, what's going on? Good morning. All right. Anyway, oh, you see my color? Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's my color. I never get color hardly, but I got color on my nails. I'm so proud of that. I don't know why. I'm just like real amped up because I got my little blue nails. You say they nice. You say. Okay. Anyway, so Mary Jane was like pretty much taken aback by that. She was just like, okay. So Patrick is in a meeting with an Asian lady that I think he was in business with, the deal that kind of fell through because David backed out because Mary Jane quit him. Again, not quit him even, but like Patrick said, hurt his feelings. So he's talking to her and she's kind of telling him, listen, that might have fell through, but I got something else lined up in California. I want you to head up this project, get these people on board. We need to do this. We need to make this money. Da 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 da. He was like, yeah, but it's kind of risky because people just went under. Two companies just went under doing whatever that is she asked him to do. She said, listen, if it go under, if it don't go under, you ain't gonna go to jail. Just don't worry about it. Then you gonna have a couple of mil to play with, and you could live rent free in my whatever, whatever. I said, sometimes things, it don't be good. It don't be good for you, but it be good to you. You know what I'm saying? And Patrick has been known to is that Patrick or is the other one Patrick? No, he Patrick Jr. Right? Yeah, PJ. Yeah, PJ has the dad's name. No, Paul. I'm sorry. Patrick is the oldest one. I'm sorry, Paul Jr. Paul is the baby boy. So anyway, Paul is PJ is talking to him, whatever, but it's sounding real good to him, even though he's saying that it could be a downside that he don't want to mess with. So it might come back to bite him in the butt, but I don't see him turning that down. I really don't. Because you see, he used to make little mistakes and everything last season when he was selling weed and stuff on his little paper route. Yeah, it was a paper route already. Anyway, so Mary Jane and Kara, they still kind of itchy owie. They, tiptoeing around each other in light of what happened last week and about the talk black thing. And she just said, listen, come in here and sit down and talk to me because I feel like, I don't want to hear whatever's going on with us in the street. So Kara just put it on the table. She was like, you ain't the same. This ain't the same. When I met you before, we had the same ideas. We clicked so well because we were headed in the same direction. That's why I thought this would work. But it ain't working no more for me. Cause somewhere, somehow you pushed me out of something that we had together. And she was like, I didn't push you out. I just took the initiative to move forward or whatever. One thing led to another. She just was like, I'm not even sure I want this anymore. Mary Jane got all serious. It got serious, and I actually felt kind of sad. And Mary Jane was like, "This is the most mature breakup I've ever had." Like she was like, "But no, let's not break up. I don't want to break up. I'll try to be nicer." I was like, "Dang, Mary Jane, don't beg." But she loves Kara. You could tell they had to had their come to Jesus moment, and I think Kara just wanting to bail out to do what she needed to do for her because it was like Mary Jane, you took your position. Now I gotta take mine because she was saying that to Gael week before last or last week or whatever that I don't have no. Everybody had a purpose. I don't have one. I done lost my kids, not lost them, but they're living with the dad, and she just work because she don't know what else to do. And I can understand that. And they just left it like that. But like I said, even though Karen gets on my nerves, I really felt emotional. I felt a little sad for them at that point. But anyway, Mary Jane and Sheldon go out to dinner. And as they're eating, they're sitting there talking and chit chatting. That stuff is still on Mary Jane's mind. With Natalie told her, and I think her name was Natalie. Yeah. Um, and she's kind of like a little standoffish, even though she's trying to act normal, but she's really not acting normal. And Sheldon's not stupid. He picks up on her vibes or whatever. He's a smart dude. So when the waitress comes, I don't want to call her a waitress because they was kind of in a swanky um restaurant. Whatever. The girl who was bringing food, she was like, oh, when he was about to say what he wanted next, she finished his sentence. And she was like, he said, oh, so you was reading my mind. She was like, yeah, that's my job. And she was just like a little extra with it. Yeah, because that's my job. Sounds like she doing too much. I would have had an issue with that too. I might have not have said nothing, but I'd have gave her a look that would have told her, knock it off before you get knocked out. Anyway, but let me tell you, one time when I was out to dinner, and this was a long time ago because it was with my son's five, and y'all know, anybody know me, that was a long time ago. We were at, and this is an old school throwback. We were at Hard Shell Cafe here in Philadelphia. I don't know if y'all had that nowhere else. Whoever's gonna watch me in another state, I don't know. But it was popular here. We was right down on Market Street, downtown Center City, Philadelphia. So we were in there eating. So I was sitting how I'm facing y'all, and he was facing, so his head would be facing, y'all would see the back of his head. And I noticed when we was talking, he kept like looking and putting his head down, looking, and he kept like looking away, doing all this. So I said, "What's wrong? Why you keep acting like that?" He was like, "The girl in back of us keeps staring at my face." It was two girls eating in back of us. So I said, "Oh, for real?" He was like, "Yeah, she like really in my face, like And I was like, "Oh, okay. So I guess she's doing that behind my back or whatever." I said, "Well, let me tell you something about me. One thing's for certain, and two things for sure. Is she that into you? Let the bitch pay for our dinner. I'm all for that because either way, you going home with me, and I don't feel like you the type of dude that's gonna be trying to because you didn't even have to let me know that she was making googly eyes at you. You know what I'm saying? I trusted that he was just like uncomfortable because he know how I can be with him in situations. You know how it could pop off. But I've changed somewhat. I'm not so pop offish. I mean, in certain instances, I might get my brass knuckles out, but I ain't got them off the shelf in a while. But anyway, yeah, it's just like you doing a little bit too much, you paying too much of attention. So she says to him, "Did you date her?" And he said, "Who?" She said, "The chick. We she called a big booty Judy." He said, "No." She said, "Oh, because I was in the boutique and Natalie, it just came out, and Natalie had said that you was a freakazoid and you ain't never let her spend the night, so it must have been a plethora of chicks that you was running through, and you had your little freakish ways about you, this, that, and the third." And he said, "Okay, well, is that going to be a problem for me and you?" I mean, she said, "Yeah, it's going to be a problem. But damn sure it's going to be a problem because you never came off like that to me, and I'm not checking for that." So he said, "Well, when you ready to listen to what I got to say, then you let me know." She went on home. She in the mirror fixing her face and getting her eyelashes off and looking back because now she thinking she old, and it was just funny how sometimes the things that we hear, even though we may know we don't look a certain way, or we know how we feel and we know what we like, what we see in the mirror, somebody else's comments can make you second guess yourself, and that's not good. But anyway, another thing women go through that men probably don't. Well, they do, but not as much as us. I think we just analyze everything. um so Val and Lisa are at lunch. It's coming out slowly but surely. Val is a little condescending to Lisa. I don't like it because she's like, "Did you take your meds? Did you take your medicine?" Like, she's a grown ass woman, dog. She knows that she needs to take her medicine or whatever. Don't keep telling her that. And then it's coming out that something went on with David and Lisa in the midst of Mary Jane and David, and it's going to reveal itself, I guess, next week on the 2 hour finale. I don't know that they need 2 hours, but maybe they feel as though that's something that they need to do to let all of the stories unfold. But okay, I mean, it's no Empire, but don't get me wrong, I really love still watching the show, even though a lot of people is not checking for it no more. I still watch it because I love black people and I love black love, even when it's turmoil and it's back and forthness. And Cuddy Buddy gives me a little fever, and I like Gary Dourdan, even though he had his little troubles in the past or whatever. He's still acting. He's still a good actor. He still brings that he has, like, he's a man. Like, it's one thing about him. He always, even when he was Shaka and had the locks on a different world, and he was in Janet Jackson's video, and he just always come off as masculine. A man, wasn't he in Jump the Broom? Yeah, he was the chef. He just come off as a man, and I always liked him for that. Um, yeah. So they're talking Lisa and Val or whatever. It's something that's going to unfold about, and she said about him, Val, not Val, Lisa and David, and Val was saying to her, I know you want to say that, but it's a lot, and you trying to rebuild your friendship with her. You should just keep it to whatever, whatever. And she was like, okay, so shield Mary Jane's feelings, but how do I, make myself feel better? She was like, oh, just I forgot what she said. She said just forgive yourself or whatever. She did something. I don't know. They must have messed around or whatever behind Mary Jane's back. I'm not sure. And it probably was just to get both of them probably was doing it just to get Mary Jane back. So she goes to work. They switch back to they're at work. Mary Jane is in like the little lounge area getting some coffee or whatever. Kara comes running in there. Girl, girl, girl. She's like, what? What's her name? Who called out? Cynthia called out for prime time tonight or whatever. She was like, what? What's wrong? She said, who gives a rat's ass what's wrong? I jokingly insinuated that they should get you to do it, and it's in the works right now. That she said, what? Me? So they go into it. What? Are you serious? You want me? She's like, yeah, girl, this is your thing. I know I was on my period, and yesterday I said I ain't want to be this, but bump all that. We about to do this tag team back again, whatever. Salt and Pepper's here, and we're in the fact. Want you to push it back? What? Working up a sweat. Come on, we know how to become number one in the hot body show. Not pushing. Push it good. Yeah. So she gets to do it. She goes on there. It's a lady on there, and Mary Jane let her ass have it. And Kira was there. Kira was like, oh no. But I feel like she was riding with Mary Jane on this because, first of all, this was a platform that she wanted to take, and I felt like she stood firm in her word. Like Dineva said, she stood firm in her word. Say what you mean what you say, and stand firm in your word. And Kara was all for that. The nighttime producer was talking down to Kara. Kara's like, whatever, Poppy, we doing this, and I don't see nothing wrong with it. She gets, they finally, the lady was trying to get with her. She got with the lady, and the end factor was, she told Mary Jane, I think that you just stuck in, you feel like you're a ugly black girl or something like that. And she said, well, let me tell you this. When I see you, me and you are just alike. You don't get noticed. You don't get whatever. And you had to do and sell your soul to get here, whatever. So I look at you as an ugly black girl too. You better read, biatch. You better read. So then the lady was just like, yeah. So they both was just sitting there like zombies. She was like, don't worry about it. Just go home. Don't look at your phone. Don't look at Twitter. Don't look at nothing. So she goes home. She's like, she calls Kara from home. Kara, I love my house and I don't want to get fired, because they're both in shock now. That even though Mary Jane was in her moment at the time, she's starting to regret what she did. But Kara said, no, I ain't heard nothing. So no news is good news. Go ahead on. Don't answer no phones. You go to sleep and have you a good night. I see you, man. Yana. So she said, okay. So the PJ and the dad have a little talk. PJ's telling him how he don't want to take the job from his friend or whatever. He gets a little pissed off with PJ. He said, at least call the man back or whatever. It's funny how sometimes our parents will push stuff on us and then think that we're obligated to say something to their friends because they offered up our whatever, whatever. If that's not what he want to do, then that's not what he want to do. And sometimes the pop gets on my nerves and sometimes PJ gets on my nerves. But in this instance, I don't think PJ was wrong. But anyway, so so the last thing was, I guess Mary Jane had got changed out of her clothes or whatever, and she was like getting ready for bed or whatever, and the phone rang and it was Sheldon. She answered it because earlier when he called, she didn't answer it when right before Kira came in and told her about they wanted her to do prime time. So he called and he was like, listen, I feel like you're pulling back. Are you, my past, does that make you, pull back from me or whatever? And she said, I'm not gonna lie, it does or whatever. And he was like, well, before I was about sex and I was just about, doing the do and keeping it moving. He said, but you have me engaged and I want our stance. I like the way he words stuff. He's so floetic. I was like, you better be talking and being and foreplaying, but ain't really nothing going on. He just, the way he talks and his whole demeanor on the phone is so calm and cool, and I just want to kiss you in the mouth. So anyway, not him per se, because I'm not really attracted to him, but like if that was like a I don't know. I'm trying to think who I really like. If that was like Lamont, oh, I can't get it. Lamont Ruck. I was like, what? You better say it. But anyway, so while she's talking to him, ding dong, Cuddy Buddy comes over. She forgot he was coming because she was all mixed up about what just happened at work. Then she breaks it down for him. You know how when I said, we said if we was gonna get serious with somebody else, we would just cut it off. She was like, okay, well this is my cutoff. He was like, oh yeah, right. I was coming over to say that too, whatever. She's like, no, you wasn't. You lying. You came over here to get some bound chicken. Wow. He said, well, yeah. I mean, I ain't no dummy. I ain't gonna turn on no breakup sex or whatever. But he was like, girl, you crazy. Maybe that's why the sex is so good or whatever. It's just funny because he's funny. I hope something plays out with him a little more. I hope this is not the end of him, but it probably is. So she goes back to the phone with Sheldon, and he did say, you did keep me on hold for a little long. You still holding, ain't you? She'll shut up. Anyway, but she said, I'm going to tell you the truth. I do like you, and I want us to be more, and, I'm going to try to get over that since you were upfront with me. I found out about that by accident. I just never get a chance for you to tell me because the other girl told me. And he said, I'm patient or whatever. And she was like, I just want to take my time. I'm patient. I want to go slow. And then he was like, I'm a patient man, but how slow we talking? And that was it. And I thought it was a good episode. I still feel like something is going to play out more with that Lisa and David thing when I saw next week's previews. And I can't wait. I don't know if they need 2 hours, but we'll see. I'll be back next week. Remember to rate, comment, because I only get like 2 or 3 comments. I used to get more comments now. And make sure you thumbs it up. I mean, I got about 50 reviews, 35 reviews, and I had 3 little thumbs. I need a lot of this here. I need a lot of this. Well, no, none of this. None of this. But a lot of this. A lot of this. All right. Thank you. See you later.